Well, we're talking farm real estate, as we do whenever Ted Cawkwell pops by. Thanks for stopping by this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, last time we talked about a little bit of uncertainty in terms of market parameters, in terms of, a new government in Canada, uncertainty with tariffs and what's going on south of the 49th parallel, which begs the question, when is the right time to sell the farm?
That's a really good question. There's a couple of things that people look at, but then I'm going to end on a really important one.
Okay.
So the smaller things are seasonality. We find that there's a few more farms that sell in the winter months when the farmers aren't in the field than there are in the summer months. Now, the flip side of that is there are certain buyers that won't buy a farm when it's covered in snow.
Right.
So there is some benefits in summer as well. That's why we like to have a little bit of a crossover time period where we get a bit of both. Another thing would be the current market conditions, right? As a seller, you ideally want to sell in a seller's market. That's not always possible, but that's ideal, right? Okay. But I think the biggest thing that trumps those factors or any else is, what is the best time for you, right? Like, I'll have someone phone and say, hey, I'm having some health problems, thinking of selling the farm. Well, we're certainly not waiting for a certain market situation or a certain season. Now is the time. Right. I've had other people phone and say, hey, we were going to retire in the next year or two, but we just found this perfect place to buy in Kelowna. We want to move out there. We don't want to miss this place. Well, then what are you waiting for? Let's sell the farm now and get you out there.
Now, I like that individual, because there's no cookie cutter recipe. I mean, no two farms are the same, even if they're a mile apart, never mind trying to sell them. Now, I wanted to touch base on what you said there about the seasonality part and also that planning portion, because if you don't have that immediate property in Kelowna that you need to get out of, is it more prudent to think maybe a little longer term, say, hey, build a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan, and then maybe you can get, a drone out in the field and show it in the summertime when, at seeding and at harvest, and then sell it in the winter?
Absolutely. Yeah, you've nailed it. So the sooner that people call us, the better. So the first thing we're going to do is not even things to do with us. It's like, have you talked to your accountant yet? How are you structured? What are your tax implications? Have you talked to your lawyer yet? Especially if you have a corporate structure. We're going to want you to talk to those people, and we'll work hand in hand with them to make sure everything's seamless and we can get the most money for you and you can keep the most in your jeans at the end.
Yeah,
right?
No, I never even thought about that, but you're right. I mean, the accounting components on some of these deals must be absolutely massive and certainly play a long way. And then what about, I want the next generation to take the farm. How prevalent is that, and how do you balance that in a way that suits everybody?
Absolutely. So I've seen all different types of situations. I love it when they want to pass the farm down to the next generation. That's what keeps the Saskatchewan roots and the farms alive. And I don't hear from those people that often because they've got their thing. Sometimes they'll call us to help value it or have a conversation.
Sure.
Sometimes they'd love to pass it down, but they can't because the kids don't have the money or they need it for retirement. So we'll work with them on creative solutions. Maybe they're selling part and they're renting some back to the kids. So we've really worked almost like consultants in some of those situations, coming up with creative solutions. And if they want the kids to stay farming, let's try and make that work in any way we can. And also free up some cash for mom and dad so they can go live their glorious retirement.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Well, that is fantastic, Ted. It just speaks to the point that you guys truly are farm real estate specialists. And if you're looking to buy or sell or just get some more information, get in touch with Ted and the team, your experts in the field, at cawkwellgroup.com.